Good evening from Painesville and welcome to Elbc Newsline. Today is Thursday, March 5, 2026, and I'm Grace Tower presenting. In our top stories, President Joseph Boakai directs cabinet ministers to achieve maximum success in the arrest agenda. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf recommends an amendment of key provisions in the Constitution. Until March 2026. Civil Service Agency sets March 12, 2026 as deadline for any transport ministry employee to take transfer to the Liberia Traffic Management Incorporated. And in foreign news, 70 children fear death in mining landslide in Democratic Republic of Congo. These stories plus many other developments are all coming up, including the news in French, Liberian English, sports, and international developments. But first, our news bulletin read for us by Nikita Roberts.
President Joseph Boakai has urged cabinet ministers to remain focused on achieving maximum success at their respective ministries and agencies of government. President Boakai said doing so will promote public trust, deliver impactful results, and create meaningful opportunities for the Liberian people. The Liberian leader cautioned them to remain robust in the execution of key policies that aim to transform lives and improve the overall infrastructural outlook of the country. The president was speaking at a cabinet meeting at the executive mansion in Monrovia on Thursday. The cabinet meeting, among other several issues, is focused on the progress made and challenges incurred so far in the implementation of the arrest agenda. President Boakai urged cabinet ministers to unite and cooperate in addressing challenges confronting youth unemployment and pertinent national issues. Meanwhile, President Joseph Boakai has recommitted government to the empowerment and inclusion of women in national decision-making processes. President Boakai believes if women must contribute to the growth of Liberia, they must be given equal access to learn and thrive. The Liberian leader's commitment was contained in a special International Women's Day message delivered on Thursday. President Boakai described women as an integral part of Liberia's progress, emphasizing the need to create meaningful opportunities for them to explore and remain impactful. Several women from different spectrums of society are expected to be recognized for their contributions to national growth. The planned activity is part of a series of events in commemoration of International Women's Day. The day, according to the General Ministry, is expected to be celebrated and celebrated gains Liberian women continue to make in achieving national progress. In an ELBC interview, Gender Minister Bremen Horace Colley underscored the significance of the day to addressing barriers affecting women's development across Liberia. The day is expected to be celebrated under the theme Give to Gain. President Joseph Boakai has issued Executive Order number 161, extending the mandate of the Asset Recovery Task Force to additional 1 year. This followed the expiration of the task force 1 year mandate on Tuesday, March 5. That's today, March 5. According to the release, the extension of Executive Order 145 will enable the Asset Recovery Task Force to complete critical national objectives of the institution. The task force, among key functions, is mandated to identify, retrieve, and restore stolen government properties and assets while safeguarding and promoting national development through appropriate legal framework. President Boakai urged the task force to work in collaboration with the Ministry of Justice, the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, and the Office of the Ombudsman to facilitate the smooth operations of the task force. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has challenged members of the legislature to take decisive action in amending key provisions of the Liberian Constitution. Madam Salib wants reforms, particularly in Article 27B, which addresses citizenship and naturalization. She described the current provision as discriminatory and urged lawmakers to take proactive steps to change it head on. According to the former Liberian leader, the Constitution restricts citizenship to persons of Negro descent by birth or naturalization, an approach she says is outdated in today's society. Madam Shirley believes revising that portion of the Constitution will make the country more inclusive and encourage Liberians in the diaspora to return home and contribute meaningfully to national development. At the same time, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has stressed the urgent need for stronger policies and legal measures to address Liberia's growing land crisis. Madam Sirleaf warned that in the absence of a well-regulated land policy, the situation could take a dangerous turn. She noted that the increase in cases of illegal land grabs across the country should be a major cause for concern. The former Liberian leader said, despite the existence of landlords, more needs to be done to ensure peaceful coexistence among Liberians. Madam Sirleaf is also calling on the government to use its authority under eminent domain to acquire large portions of unused land and develop them for the benefit of the country. The Civil Service Agency CSA has given March 12, 2026 as deadline for any employee transfer to the Liberia Traffic Management Incorporated LNTR. CSA Director General Dr. Josiah Jukas said after the March 12 deadline, no employee will have the opportunity to take transfer to the LMTR. Dr. Jukas stated that the government intends to provide an opportunity for employees at the Ministry of Transport to take employment at the company or remain in its employ. Speaking at the Ministry of Information regular press briefing, the CSA boss said the option for employees to transfer to LPMR is voluntary and not mandatory. Speaking during a press briefing, he disclosed that the Civil Service Agency verified 191 workers at the Ministry of Transport, out of which 176 employees were confirmed as legitimate civil servants. He added that the government has decided that all verified workers will keep their jobs and will be reassigned within the ministry's new regulatory structure as part of ongoing reforms. According to him, workers who decide not to move to LPMR will continue serving as civil servants under the Ministry of Transport. The government of Liberia is expected to host a major fisheries investment conference aimed at attracting investors and strengthening the country's blue economy. The Director General of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, NAFA, Sarah Sembe, said the conference will be held from March 30 to 31 in Lower Magibi County. Director Sembe said the event will bring together governmental officials, international partners, investors, and fisheries experts to discuss opportunities in Liberia's fisheries sector. According to him, the conference will showcase high-value fish species found in Liberia's waters while encouraging partnership between local businesses and international investors. He believes increased investment in fisheries could help address food security challenges and creates employment opportunities for both coastal and inland communities. The Liberian Senate has mandated the General Auditing Commission, GSC, to audit the administrations and council of the 15 counties. It followed a communication from Nimba County Senator Samuel Koga on Thursday. Senator Koga requested in his communication that the county administrations and councils be audited over the period from January 2024 to March 2026. He noted that a move will inform the Senate on the sustainability of finances and deliver statutory services. A man identified as Mohammed Sharif was Thursday charged and forwarded to court by the Liberia National Police on allegation of paramilitary activities. Defendant Sharif, according to the police, was brought to its headquarters in connection to the February 13, 2026 social media post when members of the organization, the National Food Security Services, were seen wearing mixed color unidentified security attire gathered at the fish market malls. The photos, which were posted, raised national concerns that led to the Ministry of Justice mandating the LNP to conduct a full-scale investigation into the matter. Having thoroughly investigated the paramilitary activities exhibited by the National Fuller Community Security Service, it was established that the group is an illegal group that is not registered under the Liberian government, but is run by defendant Mohammed Sharif, who with no definite organization structure. It was also established that they have unlawfully opened or begun operating since 2011 with the purpose of providing security protection for mosques in Liberia during holy month of Ramadan or another Islamic prayer period. The police investigation unearthed that defendant Mohammed could not account for 45 of his personnel through documentation to enable the investigation team to authenticate the actual activities. The country director of the African Development Bank, AFDB, Yusuf Ode, has disclosed that the bank will shortly begin its budgetary support to the Liberian government. Mr. Fode said the AFDB budget support will help government address some of its national development deliveries to improve the well-being of the people. He also disclosed that the African Development Bank has provided over 400 million United States dollars to Liberia, which has impacted some key sectors of the country. Mr. Fode spoke Thursday in Monrovia at a knowledge-sharing gathering to enhance domestic resource mobilization in Liberia through evidence-based policy. The event was held under the auspices of the African Development Bank, AFDB, and the Korean Exim Bank in collaboration with the Finance Ministry. At the same time, Korean Exim Bank representative Young-Jin Kim pledged to build a comprehensive analysis of Liberia tax system. According to Mr. Jin, the system will focus on the country's extractive sector, mainly the mining industry. He said the Korean government will ensure that tax personnel are equipped to have them on par with their colleagues around the world. Mr. Jin said once their capacity is built, it will enhance Liberia's domestic resource mobilization and shape the growth and development of the country. The elder of the Church of the Lord Evangelical Ministry, Elder Abraham Goran, says the dispute within the Church of the Lord Aladura has caused them to have separate conference, thus distancing themselves from the headquarters on Center Street. Councillor Barry told Judicial Report on Thursday that they have resolved not to sit under the governor of the bishop whom they claim should give an account to his stewardship at the Church of the Lord. He said the matter has been pending before the civil law court for litigation, which was filed by the church on Center Street, not later decided to withdraw the case after an assignment for referral was assigned on the case. The Liberia Broadcasting System, LBS, has called for urgent and structural regional action to confront the growing threats of misinformation and disinformation across West Africa. LBS maintained that public broadcasters are operating in an increasingly volatile information environment with the emergence of fake news. The Deputy Director General for Public Affairs, Alexandra Amnon, made the remarks at ECOWAS' second meeting of Directors General of State Media in Cotonou, Benin. Representing the Liberia Broadcasting System Director General, Madam Amnon stated that public service media must not be treated as ceremonial institutions, rather strategic pillars of democracy, accountability, and regional stability. And the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, LWSC, has begun major rehabilitation works on sewer networks across Liberia. According to Deputy Information Minister for Press and Public Affairs, Dan Sando, the goal is to address sewage that's overflow and sanitation challenges.
Many thanks, Nakita Roberts. She makes a return later with the weather and hopefully our international developments. Earlier today, members of the cabinet held discussions with President Joseph Boakai on key national issues in Monrovia. Amongst those issues being highlighted is the implementation of government's agenda for inclusive development. At the start of the meeting, President Boakai, as chair of the cabinet, spoke on a variety of issues, including the AID job creation and Middle East conflicts.